So as time went on, there was one thing I've learned, and it's a very important lesson that I've learned throughout my life. And like the basically the lesson I've learned is that not every story has an ending. And I'm gonna get more into depth, and I'm gonna talk to you about what I mean by that. So first things first, growing up, we are programmed to believe in movies, TV shows, and books that every single story has an ending. So we apply that to our own life. For example, like when we get broken up with, or a friendship ends, or you have a falling out with somebody, obviously the first thing you would want to do is get closure and figure out the reason why it happened, why this happened to you, and stuff like that. And the reason why is because you don't feel comfortable with something just suddenly ending and that's it. And what I've learned throughout time is that not every single thing that happens in your life is always going to make sense. Like you're going to have a lot of times in your life where something just happens and you just have to just let it be and just accept it for what it is, and it's just something that happened. You're never going to figure out the reason why it happened. You're never going to figure out the reason why this happened to you personally or specifically, but you just got to let it go. And it sucks because obviously you don't want to move on from something that you don't even know the ending or the reasoning why. Like me personally, for I'm speaking from experience, I've had stuff happen like that to me. I've met people throughout my life, and like I thought everything was going good. Like you know what I mean? Like I thought everything was going good, and it suddenly ended. And I would question myself, and like I'll keep asking myself why, why. And that word why will keep on replaying in my head, and I'll be like, why? Did I do something? What did I do? And I'll start blaming myself. But in reality, a lot of the times, like if you know you're a good person and you did nothing wrong, and someone just leaves your life, like I always say once, and I'll say it once again, if something's not meant to be in your life, you will know. And the way you will know is that when you feel like you have to fight for someone to be in your life, or you have to act like someone you're not, or change or fix something about you, and like let's say you are a good person or whatever, and you feel like you have to change in order for this person to like you, or you have to dress a certain way, basically not being you. If you have to not be you in order for someone to appreciate you and accept you, then they're not accepting you for the person you are. They're accepting this character that you're portraying yourself to be. And the last thing you want to do is build foundations on like a fake reality, a fake person. You know what I mean? Because let's be honest, you are not going to be able to maintain something with someone if the person they're falling for is not really who you are. You know what I mean? And you, out of self-respect and self-love, you shouldn't accept someone who accepts this fake version of you. You should want someone to be in your life accepting you for who you are. And I'm not saying that you can't improve and change in certain ways, because we all have room for improvement. But I'm saying in the core, the base of who you are as a person, if someone doesn't accept that, then why would you want to be with them? It makes no sense to me. So basically, when it comes to this story never ending type thing, like where you're never gonna figure out an ending, you have to start changing your perspective on how you see stuff like this. For example, if something bad happens to you, instead of like feeling bad or beating yourself up, you have to change the way you view it. For example, when something bad happens to me, instead of me like just sitting there and just like beating myself up, I would ask myself, okay, what lesson did I learn from this? Like, why did this person treat me this way? And what can I learn to not have that happen again? For example, I in the past didn't have self-respect for myself or had any sense of like I didn't have boundaries. So when you don't have boundaries with people, they're gonna break those. They're gonna just take advantage of that, and they're gonna take advantage of you, and they're gonna treat you like trash, bro. And that's why you should have boundaries and have self-respect for yourself, because you're never gonna allow certain things to happen. When you don't have self-respect and you don't have boundaries with people, bro, they're gonna take advantage of that. And for example, when you, damn, I've been saying for example a lot. But my bad. It's just the way I talk. But like I was saying, you're gonna attract people into your life that are not gonna care for you, or they're not gonna be people who are for you, and they're just gonna be bad people, and you don't want to attract that into your life. That's why you should have self-respect, hold boundaries, so you know that when someone comes into your life, and like let's say they do something that you don't like, or they're just treating you a certain way, you're not gonna allow it because you're just gonna cut them off, and you're not gonna be afraid to cut ties and lose them. You shouldn't be afraid to lose someone because, for like I said again, if someone wasn't in your life, the only person that you've always had throughout your whole entire life was yourself. I mean, obviously you have your mom and stuff, but there's one person, no matter what happens, that's gonna stick by your side and be with you throughout the good and bad, and that's always gonna be you. And that's why it's important to have self-respect, self-love, and put yourself first in certain situations too. Don't put other people ahead of you. You have to care for yourself, because if you don't care for yourself, who else would? So before I end the video, I just want to let you know that when a story doesn't have end and you don't ever get closure, sometimes the best thing that you can ever have is no closure. Because a lot of the times when a bad situation happens or whatever, and I'm not saying running away from your problems is the answer, but you figuring out the reason why someone did you dirty, how is that going to help you in any way? It's not going to make you feel better. It's not going to help you sleep better at night or help you move on. You're just doing it so you can satisfy. You're basically doing this so you can have that ending to the story. When sometimes the best ending is just no ending at all. Because when one thing ends, like for example, when a story doesn't have an ending, that's basically a new beginning in disguise. A new life, a new open, like basically an opportunity for you to improve yourself and do better. Because yes, you might have liked your old story and it might have been good, but you gotta think about it like this: you might like your new story even better. So stay positive. Don't freaking just dwell on the past, because listen, bro, if something ended, if you read a book and you read the whole entire book and you've seen the ending, what makes you think you rereading that book over again and expecting a different ending? How does that make any sense? You already read the book and you already know the ending, so why go back and experience that all over again? You don't want to be comforted by the things that hurt you in the first place. Yes, you might have liked your old story, but trust me, bro, you will most likely like your new one even better. A lot of things end for a reason and there's a purpose behind it, and the most important thing you could do is just keep on improving yourself, because down the road it will make sense to you why that thing happened to you. I'm speaking from experience, and a lot of people experience the same exact thing. You will have it will make sense down the road. And that's the most important thing I've remember from last year, because last year I had a tough year. Like I experienced a lot of loss and stuff like that. And the most important thing I got out throughout the whole entire year is that yes, bad things are going to happen to you, but you have to change your perspective on these type of things happening. Instead of just thinking of it as simple bad things, think of it as something that's going to help you. How you say it? It's going to help you in the long run. Like, yes, it might suck and it's going to hurt, but trust me, bro, it will make sense down the road. And that's the most important thing you got to keep in your mind throughout this whole process. And if you watch this video to the very end, I appreciate you. And if there's any subjects you want me to talk about, or just anything you want to talk about with this video or whatever, comment, like, subscribe. Follow me on Instagram at g.iovany. And if you want to follow my barber account, it's gfaded_. Appreciate you if you watch this to the end, man. Check you guys out, yo.